What's good, Gacha Gang? Kawaii50 coming at you with another FGO video, and today we are going to be talking about that delicious batch of rank up quests that we are going to be getting, well, as soon as tomorrow. And a lot of these rank ups are actually pretty good, and I'm pretty psyched for some of them. We're going to be going over every single rank up in the order they're going to be released, and at the end of the video, I'm going to let you know what I think is the best rank up that we got out of this batch. If this video helped you out, be sure to like and subscribe, and let's just start talking about it. Day 1 is going to see an upgrade to Semiramas, and she's going to be getting a boost to her Noble Phantasm. This is going to increase the overall damage to enemies by about 100% per level, so at NP1 you're going to see a damage boost from 300 to 400%. This also is going to get the added bonus of increasing your party's buff removal resistance by 100% for one turn. And this can be pretty important in certain challenge quest fights. There are a couple of enemies out there that can cleanse your buffs, and Semiramis is going to be able to not only deal damage, but also avoid any of those demerits. After Semiramis, Passion Lip is going to be getting a strengthening quest, also to her Noble Phantasm. Brynhild Romantia is going to be getting a boost to damage 100% just like Semiramis, so you're going to be seeing your 300 go to 400% damage, and the party HP recovery boost on Overcharge is going to be getting a buff by 1000 points per Overcharge level. This, in all honesty, is a okay buff. I really would have liked to see more from Passion Lip, maybe in the terms of a skill strengthening, but I mean, we've got a ways to go when it comes to Passion Lip on that as well, even though she did get one. After Lip has her day in the sun, Thomas Edison is going to be getting a boost to his Shapeshift ability. Shapeshift is going to instead change into the Wizard of Menlo Park, rank A, and this is going to get a couple of different things happening to it. Edison is not only going to be able to increase his own defense with this skill, but it is targetable, so you can increase any ally's defense that you want with this skill. And on top of that, this has an added bonus of reducing that ally's skill cooldown by 1. This can honestly be huge, especially when it comes to some supportive casters or some servants that really rely on a quick turn 1 buff to maximize their Noble Phantasm damage. The next day sees a buff to Beowulf, and Beowulf is going to get an incredible buff to Instinct, the worst skill in the entire game. Right now, Beowulf is only going to be getting 4 to 14 stars for one turn from Instinct, depending on the level. But after you take Beowulf through his rank up quest, that is going to change to Inspired Hero rank A+. This is going to grant critical stars only up 1 per level, so you're getting 5 to 15. But more importantly, it turns Beowulf into a crit madman for a single turn, almost a sort of mini Raikou. He gets a massive star absorption boost to make him compete with the other classes, and his crit damage is also getting increased by 30 to 50%. And after Beowulf's monster buff, we're going to be seeing a buff for the old Li Shuwen. Now, by old Li Shuwen, I mean old in release date, so it's actually the young Li Shuwen. I know, it's kind of confusing, but that's just the way it is. He's going to be getting a buff to his Noble Phantasm, Shen Shang Wu Er Da. Now, this is going to deal damage that ignores defensive debuffs to the enemy still, but this damage is going to overall get buffed. Level 1 is going to see a boost from 900 to 1200% damage. The defense reduction from this skill is also going to go up by 10%, so you're getting a boost from a 20 to 30%. Overall, after this rank up quest, his Noble Phantasm is just straight up better. After that, we're going to see Seshawing Kiara getting a buff on Valentine's Day, which is very fitting, if you ask me. She's going to be getting a boost to her Thesis of the Still Heart skill. Now, this buff is not going to be significant as far as the stat version of it goes. As far as the stat version of it goes, well, you're still going to be getting that NP gauge reduction. You're still going to be reducing your enemy's defense by the same amount. But it is the utility portion of this skill that gets the buff. This skill now removes all of the enemy's buffs when you use it. And on top of that, the overall cooldown of the skill is reduced by 1 on all levels. So you'll see Kiara using this a lot more often. And on the final day, we have Hans getting a buff to his third skill, Innocent Monster rank D. Before, you did have a pretty solid star per turn buff at the cost of reducing Hans's defense by a pretty significant amount, really turning him into a glass cannon. Well, that's all going to change when this skill gets upgraded into the Little Mermaid's Love rank EX. When this skill is upgraded, this grants one ally the star regeneration buff for 3 turns. So that main ally, maybe say the damage dealer you're trying to protect, is going to be the one gaining all of those critical stars. On top of that, that same ally is going to be getting an NP gauge charge every turn for 3 turns, and this is going to be a 5 to 10% boost. So at level 10 on Hans' skill, you're basically giving your ally not only a boosted Fragment of 2030, but a max limit broken Prisma Cosmos for 3 turns. And this skill is only going to be on a 5-turn cooldown if you have it on rank 10, so you should see this buff up more often than not every single fight. No question, my friends, no question, the servant that made out of this batch of strengthenings like a bandit is easily Hans Christian Andersen. Hans is already a phenomenal free-to-play support, and this buff overall brings him back up in relevance once again, getting that critical star regeneration buff and NP gauge on any ally you want. That targetable skill is going to go a long way towards helping your ally's utility. Whether your ally is a crit damage dealer or your ally is focused on dealing damage with their Noble Phantasm, everyone is going to benefit from this skill that Hans has. And worst case scenario, well, he can cast it on himself and use American Mind's Lebens with impunity to give all of your allies the buffs that they need. Overall, just an absolutely stellar boost for an absolutely stellar free-to-play servant. And I am going to give a quick little shout out as well to Beowulf. Any buff to Instinct is absolutely welcome, but Beowulf's buff turning him into a mini Raikou really pulls him up in relevance and makes him a very powerful choice for a single target berserker. But I want to know which buff you're all most excited about, so go ahead and let me know which of these servants you're excited to take out to the battlefield down in the comment section below. If you want to talk some FGO, my Discord server is always open, and if you like the videos and think I'm doing a good job, well, my Patreon is open as well. As always, a huge thanks to all of the patrons out there. This is Kawaii50, hoping you have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you all in the next video.